Have you been doing a lot of research on what microphone is going to be best to start with for your YouTube channel or other social media channels, maybe such as Twitch, Facebook Live, TikTok, any of these other ones? Well, you're going to have come across these two particular microphones pretty much with any search that you're going to actually look for. And that's going to be the Shure SM7B. And you're also going to come across the Rode PodMic. Now, these are both XLR microphones that are great microphones. One's a little more expensive than the other, but there are really good reasons why they are actually more expensive than the other. Now, both of them, you are going to need some sort of an audio interface. Myself, for today's demos, we are going to be using the SM7B and the Rode PodMic partnered with the Rodecaster Duo. Now, the Rodecaster Duo has a lot of great presets for these particular microphones, so there really isn't a bunch of going into the system and adjusting a lot of the settings. The settings that are in there are really, really great. Now, one great thing about the Rodecaster Duo and the Rodecaster Pro 2 is that on top of being specifically for the Rode microphones, the Shure SM7B is one of the only other microphones on the market that they actually have presets for. Now, yeah, they do have presets for basic condenser microphones, but they're not going to be specifically tailored to those particular microphones. Now, which one is going to be best for you? Now, it's a matter of how much you really want to spend. Now, the Shure SM7B, as you see right here on my right, it strictly is a XLR microphone. However, they do have a little bit more lower end options that are strictly USB. So if you don't want to spend $500 on an audio interface, or maybe just a couple $100 on the Scarlett audio interface, then you might be able to get away with spending $200 to $300 to get a really good microphone. Now, the Rode PodMic, it goes for a grand total of $100 unless you can catch it on sale on top of the price of one of your actual audio interfaces. Now, one great thing about the Rodecaster Duo is that it has preamps built into it. Same with the Rodecaster Pro 2. So you don't have to buy anything such as a fit head or a cloud lifter. So this can actually save you on a lot of the cost. Now, the question some people will be asking, well, why would somebody pay $400 for this microphone when they could literally buy four of these microphones? Well, it's a matter of your budget. Now, if you're going to be somebody like me that's going to be sitting and recording in your room and it's just you, maybe something like the Rodecaster Duo might be a better fit for you. So you can actually connect up to two microphones, maybe a little bit more if you know how to finagle it a little bit more with some of the wireless options that are actually out there. Now, when you go to the Rodecaster Pro 2, it supports up to the magic number four microphones. So it's a matter of how many people you are looking to actually have on your podcast or on your show. Now, don't forget that when you buy these microphones, you typically have to buy some sort of a microphone stand or boom arm. So don't forget to take that into consideration when it comes to your budget. Now, what are some of the best ones you can get? It's going to be personal preference. Now, when you look at this one right here, this is actually a little basic microphone stand that I bought for about $30 on Amazon. So not very expensive. It's got a very heavy base. You can actually make the microphone move up and down if you need to. Whereas over here on with my Shure, I actually have the Rode PSA-1 boom arm. Now that typically averages about 130, somewhere between 130 and $150, unless you can catch it on a really good sale. Now keep in mind that the holidays are coming up soon, so you might be able to catch some of these on really, really, really good sales. Now, when it comes to the Shure SM7B, there's a couple different variations of it, so you have to be careful which one that you actually get. Now, there is the SM7B that has been around for many, many years now. That is pretty much what a lot of your YouTubers and streamers are actually using. But there is a new version called the SM7DB. Now that one ranges somewhere between 5 and 550. Now, if you're trying to be a little more budget friendly, maybe you want to put the money towards your actual audio interface, then definitely go with the SM7B. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. The biggest differences between the two is the SM7DB is going to have a preamp built into the actual microphone. Now, if you've used the Roadcasters, they tell you additional preamps are not needed. They actually can make your audio quality sound worse than if you plugged it straight in. So you can save yourself $100 to $200. I would definitely save the money and order one of the Shure SM7Bs. I'm going to have the links down below for all these items that I'm going to be talking about today too, so you can actually go get your own. Now they are going to be Amazon affiliate links, so I might get a couple bucks out of it, but I'm definitely not going to get rich off of you clicking and purchasing anything off those. But I'm not going to kick and scream or complain. So please, by all means, check them out below. Now, we're going to do a little bit of sound demos now when it comes to these particular microphones. I'm going to talk through the SM7B, and then I'm going to switch it over to the PodMic. Now, keep in mind, these are running all presets through the Rodecaster Duo. I have not gone through and have not tweaked them. You guys have probably heard me use these microphones on many of my videos, or at least the Shure SM7B. I haven't used the PodMic in a little while, ever since I ended up getting the Shure SM7B. So hopefully you guys can see a little bit of difference when it comes to the quality. So I'm going to put this microphone down. I'm going to switch over into it and put on some headphones so I might be able to hear the differences a little better to make sure it's not too loud for you guys. All right, guys. Now, what you're listening to is the actual Shure SM7B now. Now, this microphone, like I said, it is a $400 microphone versus $100 like the Rode PodMic, which you're going to hear in just a couple moments. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, this is typically the actual microphone that I'm using. Now, they are both built like tanks. They are both very heavy microphones. Believe it or not, the Rode PodMic actually is a little bit heavier. So if you want something lighter, well, you spend a little bit more money. I don't know what to tell you in terms of that. It's going to have a smooth professional look, so it has that kind of cone type look that you're really looking at. It does come with another bigger filter to go over the front of it as well. Now, what you're hearing is obviously, like I mentioned before, this is going to be plugged in directly to the Rodecaster Duo. Now, again, the Rodecaster Duo is $500. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a matter of, do you want to invest about $900 between an audio interface and a microphone? Now, obviously, there's other lower priced options that you can get by Elgato, and there's another one by Scarlett. It's a little red one. That one's not quite as expensive. So it's a matter of whether getting an audio interface is going to really level up for you. Now, you are going to spend a lot of money. Now, that's no lie. Now, if you do have one of the older Rodecaster Pro first generation audio interfaces, you will have to get something like a Fethead or a Cloud Lifter, like I have also mentioned as well. Now, this is going to give you a deep radio ready warmth, but it does need a lot of gain. Now, I have noticed that myself when it comes to this, that it is a very gain hungry microphone. But the reward, the benefits are definitely worth it when it comes to the quality at the end. So again, nothing has been tweaked. My audio settings are at about 50% when it comes to this particular microphone. So one of the things you look at is the decibel level. So the decibel level on this particular microphone is running at 65 decibels, which is the default setting. Again, I haven't gone through and tweaked anything that I'm aware of. If I have, I apologize, but that's, as far as I know of, that's where I've got it at. Now, when it comes to the Rode PodMic, it's at 50 decibels. So you actually do have to crank the microphone audio up just a little bit. Now, I think I'm about 1 or 2 ticks higher than I am on the Shure SM7B, but it's very easy just to adjust just by either raising the level up or moving the level down just a little bit. So you can basically set it for your tone of voice as well. Now, this does actually have little switches on the back of the microphone, which are actually covered up by this little panel that you see right here. It's being held on by one little screw, so not too much. It does have built-in bass roll-off and mid-boost switches, like I mentioned, that are hidden in the back. It's going to give you some tone shaping flexibility, so it really depends on your voice, but you also have the audio interfaces that can actually assist you as well when it comes to these. Now, the PodMic does not have those. It's literally running off of whatever settings you're going to have on your audio interface or potentially in whatever audio recording software you're using. Myself, I'm using OBS right now, but obviously there are other ones like Meld, and that's just a couple to say uh, among the countless others that are actually out there. Now, who is the Shure SM7B for? It's going to be for professional podcasters, studio environments, voiceover artists, and those who don't mind investing a little bit of extra money on the gear. Now, make sure you are getting the correct microphone. Now, do you need to get the SM7B or do you want to get the newer updated SM7DB? You don't need the DB for this particular audio interface. You can get the SM7B and be perfectly fine. And the reason why is the DB actually has a built-in preamplifier versus the SM7B not. Now, what does that mean for you? Well, if you plug it into something like the Rodecaster, you may not get quite the audio clarity that you were hoping for because the Rodecaster Pro 2 and Duo both have preamps built into them, so you don't need any external or internal preamps to go along with them. Now, if I'm saying that incorrectly, I apologize, but this is from the information that I've actually looked up when I was trying to actually upgrade myself from the Rodecaster Pro 1 and upgrade myself from the actual PodMic. Now we're going to switch over to the actual PodMic so you can actually get an idea of how it's going to sound, because you are going to see a little bit of difference between the two microphones. All right. Now this is the Rode PodMic. Now the PodMic is an amazing piece of technology. As you can see, there's not really much to it. It has a built-in pop filter into the actual microphone. You just basically have it where you plug it straight in. It does not come with this actual microphone stand. I did buy these microphone stands. I got a 2-pack for about, I want to say $35 off of Amazon. I don't know if they're still that price because I got them a few years ago. But if you do end up buying something like this, keep in mind from this part and up is basically all you're getting. So you can buy something like this. The other microphone that I have, the Shure SM7B, it's connected to the Rode PSA-1 Plus. Now the differences are obviously you can get a basic microphone stand like this for 15, 20, 30 bucks. The Rode PSA-1 Plus, you're looking at about $130. So those are a couple of things that you could be looking at. Now, you're hearing a value microphone now. Now, it may sound amazing to you, but you do have people that are audiophiles that are into the technology when it comes to microphones and sound quality. And that's where you will hear a little bit of a different sound. So I have this turned up just a little bit up. Like I said, I'm at about halfway on my audio settings for my Shure SM7B. This one is almost at about 3/4 of the way up. So it is a little bit higher. Now, this is going to be a great beginner microphone. This is going to be great for streamers as well, whether you're using the XLR version like this or the actual USB version. It's a matter of what your wallet, what your spouse, and significant other are going to actually allow you to upgrade to or to actually use. Now, it's may sound sexist to say that, but you got to think of your family, you got to think of your bills first more than anything else. Now, if it's a matter of trying to save some money and start, and you can get yourself a little wireless microphone, you can get yourself a very cheap lavalier microphone. You can get microphones for $30, $40. Now, if you head to your local Best Buy, they do have your Blue Yeti microphones. They actually started carrying a couple of variations of the Shure microphones. I think there is the I want to say it's the SV1, about $300. It does support USB-C as well as XLR, so it's one of the few microphones that you actually have an option. It does have your little lights on top of it and everything. So for those of you that are YouTubers and streamers and you want to have a little extra lighting, hey, that's something that all YouTubers seem to like. They love their flare, they love their lights. Just look at any gaming laptop and major gaming desktop that's actually out there. There's lights all over the place. So this is definitely going to be for somebody on a budget. Now, you don't need to spend $500 to go ahead and get a Rodecaster. Elgato does have a fairly inexpensive one, and you do also have that one called the Scarlett. So the choice is yours. You can spend $100 to $200, or you can spend $500 or $700 or more when it comes to your audio interfaces. Now, keep in mind, Rode, their whole thing is audio. That's really what they focus on. So whether you're using the wireless microphone you saw me using, whether you're using this one, keep in mind that that is their game. All right, and we have switched back over to my wireless microphone. Now you can actually definitely see a big difference in the audio here, where I have to turn this back down a little bit because I just changed the setting from my Rode PodMic over into the wireless Rode microphones. Now, like I said, you don't have to get specifically Rode or the Shure microphones. Obviously, they do support other microphones as well, other condenser microphones, I could say. Um, I think there's one that you can look at. It is called the RE20. And I've actually seen a lot of radio stations use that. I believe other conservative talk show hosts in the past have used it. But I have seen my local radio stations actually use the RE20 for their particular uh, shows on their radio stations. So whether you're looking to spend $100, whether you're looking to spend $1,000, your audio is going to be probably your most important thing that you can actually upgrade. Because if somebody's driving down the road on and they want to have YouTube running, they may not necessarily be looking at you, but they are going to be listening to you. Very important. So if you're just using a web camera, you're using the microphone on the web camera, that's okay to start off, but you're definitely going to want to upgrade that microphone sooner rather than later. So hopefully this has really helped you out and given you an example on what the difference is in the Rode PodMic, as well as the Shure SM7B, as well as how the Rode PodMic and the Shure SM7B are going to sound on your side of things. Now, if you like this kind of content, please hit that like and subscribe down below. Stay tuned for more content. If you are in the Fayetteville, North Carolina area on November 8th, I am actually going to be having a little bit of a, not necessarily gathering, but I'm going to be running an event at my local Best Buy. It's going to be called Streamer Day. And what it is I'm bringing all my equipment down so that you guys can actually take a look at the equipment and maybe get an idea of whether something is going to be the right fit for you, whether it's the camera and lens, whether it's the microphones, the audio interfaces, lighting. There's so many different things that you could actually look at that you can actually drive right down to the store and actually pick up that not many people realize. A lot of people think that they got to go on Amazon for everything, but there are local options for you. Unless you've got like a local camera store or someplace that actually specifically deals with these, typically your big boxes, Best Buy, and even some cheaper stuff at Walmart are going to be some of your best options if you don't necessarily want to wait for your items. So thank you guys again for coming and checking the channel out, checking the video out. I'll be dropping more videos and letting you know as soon as we have more information on the streamer day on November 8th. So hit record, keep on streaming, and I'll see you guys soon.